Okay, I'm starting up the stream. Should be going momentarily. Looks like it is going. Hi everyone, I'm Digrog3, and today we're going to do some C++. I've been wrestling with this offline on my own for the past couple hours, and I think I've figured some things out. First things first, yeah, okay. I'm going to do the following things. If you recall from last time, it wasn't working. It would just hang and not do anything. I stepped through it in the debugger, and it had a bad allocation somewhere. I was doing something very wrong. So what I've just done with this is make these references instead of copies. When you send objects to a function, the default behavior in C++ is to make copies of them. Python never does that. It's always passed by reference. It's just that some stuff is immutable, like numbers and strings, that sort of thing. So you might pass by reference, but you're not going to mutate it. So if you do, if you have a number n, and then inside your function you do n plus equals 1, you've assigned a new n. So it's sort of like a copy, in that the only way to do anything with it is to make a copy. But until you do that, it's the same reference. So what am I gonna do with this? I have two references, and since the standard string type is mutable, Python strings are immutable, these are not, I can reassign bits and pieces of them. And since it's a reference, I can reassign the whole thing, and it will be updated in the caller. So I don't need this because if you look at Word, I never change it. I look at it, and I look at it, and I look at it a whole bunch, but I never actually do anything with it. So that doesn't need to return two values at all, which is actually also a bug in the Python version. This was pointed out to me by an occasional streamer who sometimes has joined me on stream and is sometimes in chat, and Ari has no time for your BS. And she said, "You never change Word, so why are you returning it?" And I said, "I don't know. You send it current in Word, and then you get a new current in Word. Seems tidy, but actually it's not needed. Anyway, we have the guess, and we see in that this seems good. Length, new result, etc. This is the result that we want. Guessing current. No, we're not going to do that. We're going to do the following. We're going to get, I'm going to do it the simple way. We could get a pointer and have it start pointing at the first character of the word, and then we could increment the pointer and dereference it, or we could just index the word. It doesn't really matter. So for int I equals 0, I less than word dot length, right? Yes. Current and word have the same length. It doesn't really matter. Plus plus I, and then we're going to say, oh no, we change, oh, word I equals this, okay. And this is supposed to be result of the first one, which is current. So current I gets, I'm just gonna copy this, move it over there, I don't care. Word I, so if the word at this index is equal to shouldn't this be a character? This is easier, I guess. We're just going to let them input any string, and the first character is what counts. Let's make that a character. Actually, makes more sense. Character. If word I is equal to, oh, it's for find probably. Can we do that? You can find a character, okay. Equals guess. Then we want this word I, otherwise we want the current I, okay. So if we guess right, we get the answer. So if the character at this point in the answer is the same as our guess, then we will use this guess. Doesn't actually matter. This is simpler. We'll replace this point in current with the guess, otherwise it'll still be the same character in current. And we're going to delete all that. Don't want it. No, and we don't have to do any of this or that, and we have to say void, because this would mean we don't have to change anything. This else. So this is if the word is in the guess and also in current. So if we guessed right, then we'll do this and update current. Otherwise, just say no and don't update current. What we could also do, if we wanted, is remove this and then current would be a copy of the current and the caller, a copy of whatever was sent in, and then we would update our internal one, and then at the end we would return it, and then we would save it with, you know, this thing. But now it says that's void. It doesn't make sense to do that. We don't need this. Where do we do anything with that? This thing and that thing, okay. Something like that. And this is just building up a string of that. I read on the internets that the equivalent of character times integer in Python is current is we're going to use the string constructor of this character times word.length. Right? Why is this complaining at me? No instance of constructor. Standard basic string. It should. size and a character. Oh, wrong way around, and it's supposed to be, this is my bad, 2 arguments. There we go. Now it's happy. I don't need this whole thing. This is actually reasonably fast, apparently. Doesn't matter, but this is shorter, and I like that. And this particular constructor constructs a string of this many of this character. Okay. User guess, and this just modifies in place because we're changing the reference. Minus this, blah blah blah. If not broke, lost. Return 0. Okay. So that's 50 lines. That's shorter. Let's run that and see what happens. There's a something. How about the letter O? Current state has something with an O at the end. And since it's only Python and hello, actually they have a different number of characters as well. Python has 6 characters and hello has 5 characters, and this is 5. But it's easy to see that the O is at the end. So I can do, how about, if it's hello, how about the letter I, which shouldn't be in there? It's not in the word. Remaining guesses 4. How about 2 things? Will it explode? Oh, it just gets both of them. Okay. How about H, E, and L? You won. Hello. And now is Python. P, Y. Let's lose this one. I. One more. And remaining guess is 1. Remaining guess is 0. You lost. Python. And that is the end of the program. And it's fixed. And it works. And that only took 12 minutes. Wow. Reasonably fast. Let's do something slightly different. Let's make this no longer a reference, and then we would do standard string this, and then current equals. That should work similarly, I think. There were build errors. It doesn't work similarly. What did I do wrong? Must return a value. Oh, I forgot to do the return. Yeah. That's important for each one in this, and then at the end. Right. Yeah. Return current. Okay. It works again. Alberto Spio says, is it complete then? Nice. I think it might be. Also, I have slightly changed it to return a value, but I think I'm going to change it back to have a reference and just modify it in place because I don't actually know why. How about the letter U? You lost. Current state of the next word. P-Y-T-H-O-N. You win. Python. This is actually pretty cool because it lets me guess multiple characters at a time. And press any key, and that's that. So I can have it use a copy and then return it. Or return it and of course save it. Or I can do this, and I can say nothing, void, and this, and it should complain because I'm returning something. Return value does not match the function type. is void, nothing. So, could I return? Just regular return? I could. I can do that, but I'm not gonna, because there's no return. Void. One more test. Make sure I did it properly. I can put them in a different order, and I win, indeed. Yay! Cool beans. So, this got actually shorter than last time. But if I still had to return, if I had to modify word, this variable, then this approach would work for that too. I would just modify it wherever, right here, and wouldn't have to return anything. This approach was also explained to me by an RA Has No Time for Your BS, and it's called out variables. In this case, they're also input variables, and I'm modifying them, but if they were different, I could say I could have a function that takes two parameters, one of input and the other result, and the result would be a reference to result, and then I could declare result outside in the caller, and then inside the function I would say result equals, whatever, and when I, had my answer based on the input, and then it would have no return value, so I would just modify something that was passed in by reference. You can also do that in Python, although it's really weird style and not recommended. Let me see if I can, this should work. Let's do that. There we go. I could do this. Def F, I for input and result, and then I would do, I don't know, result 0 equals I squared. I don't know. And then I would say my list with no I, because I don't want to mask the built-in function list. List equals about none, and then F3. Actually, let's do this in PowerShell. Where is it? Where's my PowerShell? Not this character, that one. This doowacky, alright. And now let's put this in. So we have a function that does that, very good. And then we have our list, and we call our function. We say f of, oh I didn't, 3 and list, and I go enter, then okay, it doesn't do anything apparently, but then I look at list, let's look at list 0, and it's 9. That's an out variable. The right way to do this in Python would be f I return I squared, and then you would do f of 3 and get 9. That's the right way to do it, because because I can do, f of 4 now, and it doesn't modify list. Still the same thing. And another way to return two values if I needed it would have been to use a tuple. And the reason I didn't do that is actually very good. The tutorial that I went through and I read completely, never mentioned tuples. So I didn't know they existed in C++ in a way that was easy to use. In Python, when you do ff return 1, 2, you are returning a tuple already. Of course, you can return a list by doing that. It's very easy. And, you know, if you want an actual array, you can do import array dot array. Don't I need a type or something? Something like that? I don't really know. It's probably gonna complain at me. What was wrong with this? 1, 2, there's array, return that. Oh, I just need to do that. F, what do I get? I get something correct. Okay then. So, I wasn't wrong. The normal way to do this sort of thing is by doing, you know, import array. And then you do that. Oops. Oopsie-daisies. There. But anyway, back to C++. This is not the thing I wanted. Let's try running this again, and it should, oh, there we go. Oh, it's waiting for me to do a thing. Okay, good. So, we have no return, we have a reference and another reference, and we modify this reference. If I wanted, I could have, instead of this, I could have said we have a character pointer C. I could have done char pointer C equals address of what am I even going through? Word? Current and word, huh? So maybe not. Well, I could have done pointer C, char pointer W, and then I would do this. C equals address of current 0. It's probably gonna complain about that. Yeah, I know. C is the address of current 0. W is the address of word 0. And then I would do C less than address of current 0 plus word dot length, and then I guess I would need a something of some kind. Int I equals 0 plus I. And then I would do the following. we have a pointer to each character. I could actually, let me do the following. We're going to increment I, and we're going to say C equals address of current I on the same line. Thanks. Address of current I, W equals address of word I. And then we would do pointer to C, not pointer, the value pointed to by C equals the value pointed to, word I, by this word equals guess, then we do guess, otherwise this value. Let's see what happens when I run that. Did I do something wrong? Nope. Same thing. That works just fine. So, cool. But notice that we still had to keep track of, actually, no. We won't do this. We will do plus plus C and plus plus W. I think this is what we actually wanted. Okay, so we start with C. So we have two character pointers for the current and word. So we get the address of the first character in current and the address of the first character in word. And then we go as long as this address is less than the address of the first character. We should probably say, you know, they're the same length. It doesn't actually matter. But we have the address of the first character plus the length, and that will be the last character. Actually, the address of the last character. And then we will increment this pointer and increment that pointer. And then we say the value pointed to by this pointer should be equal to whether the value pointed to by that pointer is guess. And if it is, then we do guess. Otherwise, that one. We can actually do this and make it even funnier. So there's a version that you can do that if you feel like it. I'm gonna run it and make sure it's actually functional. Meaning guess is 1. Current state. Oh, we'll move to the next word. Oh, I lost. What is this? When I lose both. So this is hello. This rating guess is 1. Not in the word 0. You lost hello. Okay. Oh, I guess I overflowed the character buffer into the next one. Oh, that's actually in the word. Never mind. So is that one. How about the letter U? And it is not. Okay. So that was just, I guess, too many things at once, and it went into the next dealie and confused me. Anyway, I'm going to leave it like this and upload this version. But the one with just having an integer I and just doing regular indexing seems is fine and pretty short too. So I think actually I can do that. Declare both. I can't. Okay, I thought I could do that, but it didn't like it. Oh, yeah. I can do that. I'm going to do this to make it more clear. Character pointer C and pointer W. Then I increment each of these by 1, etc. Okay. Run and test again. Hooray. Hooray. Okay. So, as we saw, there are several ways to do this. We can have it work on a copy and then return that value, or we can have it we can pass it a reference and then just mutate that directly and not return anything. And we can also iterate over indices and just index things. It doesn't really matter. Or we can keep track of pointers and increment the pointers. And then we can do funny things like this. And I'm going to leave it in there because that's hilarious. Anyway, that is the stream for today. I don't quite know what I'll do tomorrow. Maybe hex cells, something. I don't know. And thank you for watching, and thank you for joining me in chat. And remember to like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you next time. Have a good one.